When setting up a document library in SharePoint, it's important to decide how to organize the information so that everyone on the team can easily find what they're looking for. You might use folders, metadata, views, or a combination thereof. In this lesson, we're going to pick up where we left off in the last one and discuss how to use metadata and views to organize your files. It's important to know that if the SharePoint site is associated with a Microsoft team, the process is slightly different. So first, we're going to talk about a traditional SharePoint site, and then at the end of the video, we'll talk about the differences in teams. Let's start out with a quick review. In the last lesson, we created a training videos document library and then created a few columns to track metadata to organize the video files. The one thing I want to point out here is as you create your columns, it's important to use succinct but unique names. So in this example, I have different modules for the different courses. For SharePoint, I did a good job by putting SP for SharePoint in front of it, but the other one just says module. As I add more topics to my training library, it could be difficult to know which module column I should use. To update the name, click the drop down next to the column, select column settings and edit, and then I'm just going to put teams in front of this and then save. Now we're going to create a couple of views so that we can organize our videos by the course type. Right now there's only a few files on the screen, so it's easy to tell the difference. But as more courses and files are added, it can become a chore to find what you're looking for. To get started, go to the All Documents view, select the drop-down. From the menu that appears, click Create New View at the bottom. The Create View dialog box will pop up, and we're going to call this one SharePoint Course. And then click Create. The new view is based on the one that was selected. If I select All Documents or SharePoint, they're going to be identical. So next, we're going to customize the SharePoint course view by adding a filter based on the course column. You will use any column that makes sense for your business process. In this scenario, I intentionally made a mistake so that I can point out a common problem. The course column is a single line of text, and any team member can type anything they want in this column. Even if they follow the correct naming conventions, they could make a typo, like I did. Notice I spelled SharePoint incorrectly in one of the rows. Whenever possible, I suggest using choice columns to predefine the acceptable entries. In this example, if I did not pay close attention to the alternate spelling, some files could be incorrectly excluded from the view. Again, it's easy to spot the difference when there's only 3 choices and I know that there should have been 2. Most of us won't have such simple data sets to work with in our day-to-day work. For this demonstration, I just went ahead and corrected the spelling error. Now I'm going to go to the course column and click the drop-down, select Filter By, and choose the SharePoint option, then click Apply. The view now displays only 3 videos. Next, I don't want to see the Teams module column because the data is not relevant to this view. Click the drop-down next to the Teams module, go to the column settings, and click Hide this column. On the left-hand side of the screen, notice the words Unsaved Changes just above the button for the SharePoint course view. The changes related to the filter are not automatically saved. It's important to click the drop-down for the impacted view and select Save View. We are done customizing the SharePoint view. Click All Documents and notice that all the files and columns are still visible here. Now that the second view has been added, there's a button for Add View in the selection toolbar. We could use this to create a view for the Teams course, but I want to point out another option. Let's say we came in here to the All Documents view and said, oh, you know what? I want to filter by Teams. And then I realized, oh wait, I meant to create a new view, not update the All Documents view. I don't have to clear everything and start over. What you can do is click the drop down for all documents and select Save View As. In the dialog box that appears, rename the view to Teams Course, then save. Then continue modifying the view by hiding the SharePoint column, which is not applicable to the Teams view. Just like that, we have 3 views, all documents that shows everything, a SharePoint course, and a Teams course view. I have switched over to a document library that's attached to a SharePoint site that is associated with Microsoft Teams. A quick way that you will know that this is a Teams SharePoint site is the Teams logo right behind the name of the SharePoint site. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there are some differences when creating and managing views in a SharePoint site that is associated with a Microsoft team. The first thing that I want to point out is that there are 2 views by default, all documents and in channels. Neither of these views can be deleted. There are also folders that are automatically created for each channel within your Microsoft team. Notice that when I'm in the All Channels view, we do not have the option to create additional columns to track metadata. If I go back to the All Documents view, you do have the option to create those additional columns. However, you cannot add metadata to any of the folders that were automatically created to support the Microsoft team. So I'm going to go up to the toolbar at the top of the screen and select Edit and Grid View. The Start Here folder is associated with the Teams channel. If I try to put any information in the Office column, a message will pop up that says, to update this folder, go to the channel in Microsoft Teams. I won't be able to use the custom metadata for the Start Here folder, Project A, or Project B. However, I manually created the Microsoft Planner folder, the Project Manager Agent folder, and added 3 different files to the document library. I can use the custom columns for these assets. It is still possible to create views for the information contained in the folders created by Microsoft Teams. You just have to start from within the folder. So if I click on Start Here, you can see that there are 3 files associated with this channel. I can see the custom columns that were created. So I go to the toolbar and select Edit and Grid View. I can start updating the Office and the document type columns. From within the Start Here folder, we can even create additional custom columns. So we're going to use the same example from the first video on document libraries and add a column to track the review date of each of these files so that we know when we need to update them again. In the Start Here channel, we have one view called All Documents. It is not the same All Documents view as if you were to go to the top of the document library. Within this folder, we can create additional views. Click the drop-down for All Documents and select Create New View. In the floating dialog box that appears, I'm going to call this view Policy and then click Create. Just like we did in a traditional SharePoint site, we're going to use a column and set up a filter so that I'm only seeing the policy documents. Now, here's where it can get a little bit tricky when we're talking about SharePoint associated with the team. I've navigated back to the top of the hierarchy in the document library and notice that we do see the policy filter. However, when we click on this, it's only searching for documents that are tagged as policy in the All Documents view for the library here at the top. It is not searching the folders. The fact that we can see the button for the policy view in both the top of the document library and in the folder is a common point of confusion if you don't explain to people that they work differently depending on where you are. The common complaint I hear is people saying that their documents are disappearing and reappearing, or that SharePoint search and filter doesn't work because it's not including all of the results. Most of the time, when I help people look into this issue, it's just a misunderstanding of how the views are supposed to work and where it's pulling the information from. The last tip I'll give you is if you're going to use views, just make sure that everyone who uses the site understands how they're supposed to work. And that way you can avoid the common problem of people duplicating effort and creating brand new files to replace quote unquote missing files.